We are here today collecting groundwater samples to measure the nutrient concentrations of pollution in the groundwater. This is one out of 45 sites countywide that we're monitoring, and all of that groundwater pollution is moving towards the Indian River Lagoon, carrying load. Just before the half-cent sales tax was passed, we discovered that the pollution in groundwater was responsible for more pollution to the lagoon than all of the stormwater combined.
So when we started this project, we had to work with the community to install monitoring wells on their properties. We were fortunate to be able to recruit over 40 residents to allow us access to their property to install wells and monitor those wells every month. Florida Department of Environmental Protection has established standard operating procedures for groundwater sampling so that all of the samples are taken exactly the same way. Very important that we get a sample that's representative of the groundwater. So to do that, you'll see that our technicians will come out and they'll pump the well first for a while until it stabilizes. We call that purging the well. So we get out like the stagnant water that's been sitting in there and we get actual representative groundwater. Those samples will then be put into bottles, and then we send them off to a NELAC certified laboratory to analyze for all kinds of pollution. And then all of those data are entered into a very huge database now. 7 years worth of monthly data from over 40 wells in Brevard County have established an incredible baseline.
Nitrogen and phosphorus are the building blocks of life, and at the right amounts they're good for the lagoon, but too much causes algae blooms, and those algae blooms, as they decay, eat up oxygen that the fish need to breathe, and they also block light that needs to penetrate down to the seagrasses, and so too much nutrients is bad for the lagoon.
One of the interesting findings is that there's tremendous variation in where groundwater is more polluted in Brevard County. So we found, and we were kind of surprised because we were looking for background areas, like natural areas like Turkey Creek Wildlife Sanctuary, where we could get a background. And one of the things we decided was maybe we should put wells in the sewered areas to see if there's a background, if it's a background like a natural area. And it turns out that sewered areas are already polluted. So even though there are not septic tanks there, people can't just assume that the groundwater is clean. It's not. We're still polluting it. We have dogs, we have pets, we fertilize our lawns, we're applying different pesticides and things outdoors, we're using wash products outside, and then of course we have septic tanks, we are using reclaimed irrigation water. All of these are potential sources. Every time you cut down a tree in your yard, you are increasing the amount of stormwater that is hitting your landscape. Just as a human walking onto a property and putting your house and starting to live there, we start contaminating the groundwater there.
We've found that there's tremendous variability from house to house and from month to month, but over that long time period we can tease out trends. And so what we found is that homes that are on sewer, on average, the nitrogen level is 4 times what it is in natural areas. Homes that are on septic, the nitrogen levels are 9 times the natural levels, and homes that are on reclaimed irrigation on average are 14 times the natural levels in groundwater. So with that information, we can then look at the costs of retrofits. What does it cost to upgrade the wastewater treatment plant, to improve the reclaimed water? What does it cost to convert people from septic to sewer? And we can look at the benefits versus the costs to come up with what are the most cost-effective ways to reduce pollution getting to the lagoon to use that half-cent sales tax wisely. I really want to thank the homeowners. When we started this program, we thought we would be doing it for a year or two. We didn't realize how variable the data was going to be and how long we were going to need to be stepping into their backyards on a monthly basis. So just a really huge thank you to these folks who are helping us better understand the sources of pollution and what we need to do to help fix the lagoon.
For decades, we've been talking about pollution that gets into stormwater and ways to reduce that. And more recently, with this groundwater monitoring, we've realized how important pollution getting into the groundwater itself is. And there's ways to reduce that pollution around your homes. Reducing or eliminating the use of fertilizer on your lawn, picking up after your pet, and if you're using reclaimed water, making sure that you aren't over-irrigating are all ways that we can reduce that groundwater pollution that gets into the lagoon. To learn more ways that you can join all of us in getting to a healthy lagoon faster, visit lagoonloyal.com.